If you are someone that is fairly overweight, and I mean really overweight, that's looking to get into the gym because you want to start losing weight or just in general feel a little bit more confident in your skin, this is the video for you. We're going to break down some of the first baby steps you need to start and how you can actually progress over time to make sure that you keep the ball rolling. And this topic comes from a subscriber, so let's get into it. The question is, I'm 29 years old, 5'9", and probably around 105 kg, which is around 231 pounds. So this is a very, very, very big individual. I'm new to all of this, but I've looked online and based off the pictures, I'd say I'm around 35 to 40% body fat. So I want/need to lose a fair bit of weight and just feel better overall. I don't mind going to the gym. There is actually one not too far from me, but I'd like some advice on how often and what I should actually do. All right, so no long thing, let's get into this. Those of you may know that I love answering questions from really obese people because I like the idea of them getting in the gym and getting fitter because it's going to be a big lifestyle change that will help them down the road. But anyway, the first thing I would do as tip number one is before we even think about changing your diet and going to the gym or any of that stuff, I would buy a walking pad for your house and make it a non-negotiable that you step on it at least once every single day for at least 5 minutes. And you're probably thinking 5 minutes isn't that long. Trust me, it's all about building a routine at first. Ideally, it'd be good if you did 20 minutes from day one. However, many people, it can be overwhelming. So I would buy a walking pad. You can get them on Facebook Marketplace for fairly cheap. Doesn't have to be a full treadmill. If you can get one that inclines, it's even better, but if you can just get at least a walking pad, so every single day you can work on increasing your step count and activity without having to have any sort of potential excuse of the weather's poor, so I couldn't go for a walk. You want to make sure you get this done. And then there's also the fact that there's no excuse at all because you'll be able to fit in 5 minutes or 10 minutes in your day, every single day, regardless. There is no reason why you wouldn't be able to at least do 10 minutes every day. But as I said, let's go with the 5-minute method. Just so the fact that 5 minutes will get you on that machine. Then if you're on that machine and would like to do longer, do longer. But the key thing is making sure that you get on that thing every single day. Then as the weeks go by, you gradually increase the time as it becomes a routine and you remember to do it. I would personally do it every single day when you wake up in the morning just to get it out of the way. Next up, you need to get into a calorie deficit. And I know you've probably at this point, if you've done a little bit of research, heard that all the time. It's probably become annoying. But in simple terms, from day one, the easiest thing I could probably recommend is try and reduce your portion sizes, because if you're around 231 pounds, you probably know you're eating a fair lot of food. So I'm not going to say to scrap a whole meal from the get-go. I would just say try and reduce your portion sizes across the board. Then after that, do a little bit extra, which is, for example, making a smart swap, swapping out oven fries from the freezer, swap that out with potatoes that you actually chopped up yourself and cooked in the oven, and then put that on your plate instead. It's just a case of switching out some of the processed foods that you're eating and get used to actually cooking. And then as time goes by, you gradually start doing that. So making sure that most of the food you're eating is made within the house. So you've bought the ingredients and you've cooked it. If you're someone that's short on time, you can meal prep like a few days at a time. Me personally, I would do like a Sunday and a Wednesday, or Sunday and a Thursday, and just prep a few meals ahead for the week so you can kind of make sure you stay on track and don't
go on. I haven't got time to cook. I've got to call Uber Eats now.
You want to eliminate those sort of thought patterns and habits. And then eventually, probably after a month or so, as long as you've been seeing progress as well, you want to get into the idea of actually tracking your calories. So actually download MyFitnessPal or whatever food tracking app you would like. And then basically start logging some of the food. Most of the apps now will let you scan them and things like that. And you need like a little food scale so you can actually weigh some of your food. This may sound pedantic, but the chances are that after you've done this with most of the main meals that you eat, you will then start remembering things like portion sizes and how much you use, and you can start to eyeball it as time goes on. But as a complete beginner, you just quickly weigh them out. It doesn't take that long. It sounds longer than what it is. You keep the food scale basically on your kitchen table, and when you're making something, you quickly pull it over, put a bowl on it, and you weigh it. It's not that hard of a process, trust me. If you just don't really know at all how much you have to consume, you're just thinking, oh, I'll just eat till I feel not hungry anymore. You could be eating small quantities of food that's really high in calorie and using up your whole calorie budget for what would be the day for you to lose weight. So these are the things you need to keep an eyeball on. The next thing, it kind of plays into the walking pad thing I mentioned earlier. You need to have a set of daily wins that you monitor. Download an app like Todoist. It's my favorite kind of simple to-do app where you kind of tick off your things. It kind of gives you endorphins as you start ticking them off because it starts building up trends. It'll start giving you bonus points and stuff when you've done certain days in a row. It sounds silly, but those little things work the same way how kids love getting gold stars and it motivates and promotes good behavior. teenager, it starts doing that even when you're an adult. Trust me, it works with me. So I definitely get some sort of app like that and start tracking basic wins. For example, some of your daily habits that you can have on there would be making sure to go outside every single day. Another one would be, I said this week I'm going to train at the gym 3 times this week. Another one could be, I said I'm going to start cooking at least 1 homemade meal a day. You put that down. These are small wins, but they're important wins, because once you get used to them, then you can start introducing more complex ones or more medium like level goals, and then eventually hard. So you don't want to go from 0 to 100 though and just put in there straight away, I'm going to train 4 days a week and I'm going to only eat 2,500 calories. You want to start baby steps to start reinforcing this behavior, because when you're this big, it's not an accident. It's a whole lifestyle thing that's got to change, and a lot of people cannot go cold turkey. You need to gradually make these changes. Even though you may feel really motivated now and you want to do everything from day one, chances are if you often do that, you will eventually, because it's so distant from how you normally live your life, you will revert back because it feels too drastic of a change. The more gradual and sustainable the change feels, the more likely you are to stick with it. So that is something to definitely consider. The next tip now sounds obvious, but many people don't do it. If you're someone that certain foods or trigger foods for you, like crisps or cookies, do not ever buy the multi-pack and put them in your cupboards, because they will not last a week. They probably won't even last a couple of days. If you're anything like me, if I have brownies in my cupboard, they're not lasting more than a day. Any treats like that you would like to have and you fit them in, just go to the store, buy one and eat it. Do not buy multi-packs and keep them in your house. Ignore the people that say that,
Oh, isn't it kind of a disorder if I can't have it in the house?
those people are idiots. You don't keep the thing that triggers you around you all the time. That's just not smart in general. Now we're on to, I would say, the fun part, but depends what you feel about the gym. So when it comes to the gym, what I would probably recommend is, let's get you used to being in the gym first. So for the first 2 to 3 weeks, let's just go with a 2-day routine. Both days a full body workout. You can have like an A version or a B version, but because it's only 2 days, as long as they're not back to back, it can literally be the same routine to keep it simple, and you just go and train those days. And what I would say is that I would make sure to incorporate some resistance weights. Don't feel like you have to go in the gym and just walk on the treadmill for like an hour, 2 hours. You want to actually build some muscle, because muscle will work in your favor. It will kind of impact the scale a bit, so you can't always rely on the scale when you're stepping on it, because as you build muscle, that obviously weighs something, so the scale may look slower progress as usual, but down the line will be great for you. It builds strength. It's going to also help you burn more calories down the line a lot faster. So yeah, I'll definitely recommend in making sure that at least do like 60% weights and then 40% cardio. Do it that way. Now after week 2, I will then up it to 3 times a week. And now you can have a different version for each of the full body routines. So like a full body A, full body B, full body C. You're working the full body, but you're doing different exercises each day. And then you start actually tracking these things ideally, so you can see if you're improving. And this can work wonders. You know what I mean? You do a lot more exercise now than you ever did before. At the end of each of these sessions, you'll still be doing some cardio as well. You know, initially you may start with doing, you know, the 15, 20 minutes of cardio. And then as you start doing better, you feel more comfortable in the gym, you can still stick to your 40 minutes doing the weights, but you can gradually bump up the cardio a little bit, like 5 minutes there, 10 minutes there. And if you want to do an extra bonus with the cardio, I would recommend tracking your cardio based on the calories, not the minutes. And the reason why we do that is because, say that if you said your goal is to burn 200 calories, that may take like, say, 20 minutes. But regardless, if you're aiming for 200 calories, on the days when you feel lazy, that 200 calories may take you 25 or even 30 minutes to burn because you just felt slower than usual, but you're still making sure that 200 calories is burnt. Whereas if you say I'm going to do 20 minutes of cardio, there's some days when you just may not have the energy and you're more lazy than normal, or you're just not being as brisk as you normally do. You may in that 20 minutes only burn 100 calories because you're just much more slower and less on it as usual, and basically you have now burnt less calories than you normally would. So if you always go by calories though, it makes sure that you're getting that work done regardless. And this goes without saying, but avoid any sort of crash diets or crazy training routines you know you can't stick with. Don't go from 0 to trying to do some sort of crazy routine such as, is it 75 hard or anything like that. Just try and do the basics well and continually stick with them, and then consistently improve them over time and gradually making it harder and harder and harder, but sustainably. Don't go from 0 to 100, go from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 40. Go in gradual increments, because then you will like to stick with it. You don't want to rebound back and then in a year's time, you're sending me another message saying the same thing. Now, if you were someone that was this weight and you've been training for like 2 years, the advice I'd give you would be a bit more, it it'll be definitely more intense. However, when you're a newbie and you're dipping your toes in the water, you can't go from 0 to 100. As I said, you have to take it more gradual. It may take a little bit longer, but if you're going to stick with it, it's going to be better for you. Whereas if I assigned you something really intense right now and you only do it for 2 months and you quit, you know what I mean? Who's going to make more progress over the course of a year? The person that did it for 2 months and quit and never went back, or the person that gradually improved over the year and actually may even learn to love the stuff, and then it becomes a part of their whole lifestyle as a whole. So yeah, that is what I'd recommend, man. Good luck on your journey. I hope you make it. Anyone else has similar issues like this, feel free to hit me up for coaching down below if you need it, if you need that one-to-one. But honestly, there's some tips on YouTube you can find to get you started, and then if you feel like you need help, then decide to get a coach. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.